Doing some pre-market analysis, taking a quick look at the energy sector today. We do have a series of higher highs and higher lows. Last couple of months we've been pulling back in the energy sector. Price is currently trading below this 200 moving average on the daily chart. Now look at the history of this chart. I found other pullbacks are similar in dollar amount. For example, this pullback right here from that pivot high, pivot low, pivot high, it's very similar to the one we're currently experiencing right now. We do have a pocket of potential support in addition to a 618 retracement that overlaps. What we're looking for is strength back above that 200 moving average on the daily chart. Now, since we've been pulling back in the energy sector, there are many stocks in the XLE that's also pulling back. Now, let's find some great candidates. So this is what I'm looking for. First, I need strength back up above this 200. Then I'm going to find some stocks in the XLE that's going to match up. APA, we do have that series of lower highs and lower lows. Now this one is finding way too much weakness back to the downside. Next we have BKR. Now this one's a little bit stronger. You can see that price is trading below the 200 moving average, but we do have an established series of higher lows. So let's see if we can get back up above this 200 moving average on the daily chart. So set yourself an alert with this one. ConocoPhillips. Now this one, it's also got that triangle pattern, but right now it's deciding to break below this 200 moving average. In addition, again, back down below this triangle, so I'm not going to consider this one. CTRA. Now this one's a little bit stronger. Price is currently trading below the 200 moving average, but it's a little bit stronger because it just got down there. It hasn't been trading below the 200. You can look at the history of this chart, finding some pullbacks similar in dollar amount, and see if you can get a bounce out of this, but you got to have confirmed strength. CVX. This one's just also showing you weakness on this chart. Okay. We had a nice three-price relationship, but it failed. So if you got a trigger to go along here, you're out of this trade. Now you're just looking for the next pocket of potential support. It may pull back deeper. Let's see, taking a quick look at this pullback. So we may have a pullback that's going to bring us back down to 150 and some change. DVN, okay. I like this chart. Now we had to overcome this downward correction. Now price is also trading below this 200 moving average. So set yourself an alert to make sure strength comes back in. EOG, same thing over here. We do have a series of higher lows. Now we need to find some strength back up above this 200 moving average on the daily. If you want to go long, you want to find the strongest stock. Okay, so EQT over here, you can see this is a much stronger stock. Still part of the XLE, but it's trading above the 200 moving average. Now there are going to be some stocks that's going to buck the trend, right? So if you are finding XLE right now, trading slightly below this 200, now when it regains strength back up above that 200 moving average, you might see a nice pop with stocks as this EQT because it's already finding strength. It's not really going with that downward trend, okay? Diamondback Energy, let's take a quick look at this one. Before, so you can look on my channel, we had a nice three-price relationship here, taken off to the upside. Now what you want to do, you want to evaluate this pullback right here. So let's see if the pattern is going to repeat itself. I'm looking at these pivot highs, pivot lows, pivot highs. Okay, how about this pullback here? So using my fib retracements, we also have a 382 on this chart. Price is trading nicely above this 200 moving average. This is the pocket of potential support I'm evaluating. Now, for whatever reason, price breaks below this pocket of potential support, there's nothing for me to do. If you want to go long, you want to wait for strength to come back in. You got to wait for that trigger. On a 15-minute time frame, you can see we do have that 200 moving average on top. What this means is that when price comes up against the 200, it may be met with resistance and push the price of the stock further down. Halliburton, okay, so this one's also trading below the 200 moving average, finding weakness along the way, so I'm not going to consider this for now. So this one, we do have a series of higher lows, so that's good. Price is also trading below the 200 moving average. What I need to do with this chart is also do the same type of valuation, kind of find other pullbacks similar in dollar amount, to kind of find a support. But this is not a very strong looking stock, so I'm going to skip this one. Now here we have an outlier. Okay, Kinder Morgan. Over here, we have a dividend paying stock. The last couple of months, XLE has been pulling back, but this one's been trucking to the upside. So pay attention to stocks like this. So what do we have here? This is a shallow pullback against a moving average right here. I like to see a deeper pullback, such as ones like this. Okay, so ones like this over here, probably very similar to ones over here, very similar to ones over here. Okay, and this is how we find pullbacks in the history of this chart. They're similar in dollar amount. You can see this pullback, very similar to this pullback, very similar to this pullback. Okay, and learn a little bit more about their fundamentals, see what they're doing, because this is a dividend paying stock and it's over 6% right now. Dividend yield over 6%. So financials, you click over here and you can look over here how they're doing with their top line revenue. It's been quite inconsistent. 2021, 16 billion, 2022, 19 billion, 2023, they have 15.3 billion. Now, the good thing about this company is that they are profitable. We used to have a chart with Yahoo Finance, but right now there's no chart for Yahoo Finance, so I just use the Google one. Sometimes when you're taking a quick look with Google, it's much better. And you want to click over to annual, right? So you can see how these numbers are reflected. Now, the company is profitable, so that's good. It's a stock that is trading below 220. It is a stock trading below $20. Let's take a quick look at overall 20-year. I don't know how many splits that they've had. These are the type of situations I look for because at one point, 2015, 2016, it was trading over $40. Right now, probably not a lot of people are looking at the stock because it's just not on the radar. It's boring. It's not a big company. You may find some great candidates if you're holding stock and you're willing to hold it for a couple of years. You're collecting dividends, selling cover calls. Right? Something like this may be a great candidate. MPC. Going to zoom back out to a 10-year 1 day. What I like about this chart, price is also trading below. Price is trading above this 200 moving average. Now this pullback is a little bit bigger. So what I mean by that is I'm going to take my Fibonacci extensions. I'm going to walk it backwards. I'm going to click it from that pivot high, pivot low. Okay. I like to see if there are other pullbacks in the history of this chart that's going to match up. You can see how this pullback right here from that pivot high to this pivot low, I'm going to project it to this new recent high. It's very, very similar. It's also trading right against that 200 moving average on the daily chart. So that's the first price relationship. And this is the type of work that you need to do to find a 3 price relationship. That's just a single one. We may have a pocket of potential support. So you guys do your own homework on this one. So price is trading below the 200 moving average, making sure you can trade back up above this 200 to confirm strength. MRO. MRO, I like this one. You see how there's so much more strength in this chart compared to other charts. So over here, price is trading nicely above the 200 moving average on the daily as well as the hourly. So what you can do, you can clear these drawings, okay? Now we do have a gap to fill. You may fill this gap before resuming the upside. It may also tag against this 200 moving average. But the gap fill is going to be right around that 2650 area. So just monitor this one closely. You may find yourself a nice long trade into this one. OKE, I also like this chart. Series of higher highs and higher lows, pull them back. Currently trading below the 200 moving average on the hourly chart, but above on the daily. OXY, okay, this one's a little bit more choppy. Doesn't really have that sense of direction. So I'm going to skip this one for now. PSX, so over here we do have a single price relationship so far, also trading above, currently above the 200 moving average on the daily. But we've been sliding off the last couple of months. So this chart is very similar to XLE. It's likely trading below the 200 moving average on the hourly. So set yourself an alert to make sure we can price back up above that 200. So we got XLB, SLB, Slumberjay. This one's got way too much weakness. Okay, so over here, try to get back up above this 200 and currently selling off. So over here, this is a series of lower highs and lower lows. Too much weakness, not touching this one. Now TRGP, this one's an outlier. You can see, even though it's part of the XLE, it's a very small component. maybe 1 or 2% or even less. So it's not being affected. This one's just kind of playing out on its own. Now, if you get a decent pullback with this one, another dividend paying stock, let's also find out a little bit more about this company. I think it's always interesting to find out, why are these companies doing well? We can learn a little bit more about their finances, profile group. All right, so this company owns, operates, develops portfolio midstream infrastructure assets in North America. Okay, definitely in the energy sector. So this is more on the infrastructure side. Financials, see how much money they're making. 2021, 16 billion, 2022, 20 billion, 2023, 16 billion. So they got a pullback over here. And over here, the company is profitable. And you can also chart it out. Target resources. Okay, you want to flip over to annual. Right, so we had that increasing top line revenue 2022 and then dropped 2023. But net income still positive. So that's a good sign. Okay, Valero Energy. All right. So we went over this chart a couple of times. So with a chart like this, we have a pretty major pullback here. So I like to look at the history of this chart, finding other pullbacks similar in dollar amount. So what I do, I just get my ruler out and I walk it backwards. Okay. And you may not find it right away. And this is what trading is about. You have to go through the history of this chart, finding patterns that repeat themselves over and over again. Sometimes you may find a shallow pullback, sometimes right now experiencing a deeper pullback. Williams over here. This is also an interesting chart. I mean, it's part of the XLE, but it's not directly related. I could be wrong. Let's take a quick look. WMB, looking at their profile, what do they actually do, right? Operates as energy infrastructure, okay, another infrastructure company. Natural gas gathering and processing. Let's take a quick look at their numbers, annual. Over here, it's still profitable, very profitable. So sometimes you're just gonna find some great stocks and they're under the radar. Nobody pays attention to them. And they make a lot of money and they're just quietly growing. You can see the last couple of years. After that 2020 crash, it went from that $8 area and right now trading around 41 and some change. Exxon Mobil, this is the biggest one, biggest component in the XLE. So over here you can see how this stock is very similar to XLE. Now, if I were to take a quick look, what is the best opportunity here? So we talked about EQT. We need to find some strength back up above EQT. I like Kinder Morgan, right? Just for a long-term hold, I think this is a great candidate. But I do still need to find a 3-price relationship. So this may pull back a little bit more. Now, a lot of this has to be dependent on XLE and primarily Exxon Mobil. How are these big guys going to respond to the current market conditions? Are they going to find strength back up above these 200 moving averages on the daily chart, or are they going to continue to sell off? If they continue to sell off, then do not go long in the energy sector. This is likely it's going to drag all these other stocks back to the downside. But we're just anticipating the next move in the markets. We had a pullback the last couple of months. Now we're going to see if some strength's going to come back in, some new energy, some new buyers coming into the energy sector. So thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Any other stocks in the energy sector you want me to review, drop in the comments below, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi everyone, John here. I recently put together a PDF on Fibonacci trading. You guys can check out the link in the descriptions below. I'll put it in the comments. Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel? We go over setups and cryptocurrencies as well as US equities to help you grow your account. Subscribe now and hit that notification button. We look to hearing from you in the comments area.